Hey everyone, welcome to another match of Temur Hatching Delver. Today we are playing Zirda Umbra combo, a deck I didn't even know existed before playing, and you're gonna before playing it in this match, and you're gonna see that in game 3. When we get there, we'll get there. So I had to throw out that first hand. This hand is not much better. I'm gonna keep it because I didn't want to go down to 5. Not great because we're not threat heavy. That's an issue. We're not threat heavy on turn 1, which is an issue I had with this deck, and I modified it accordingly, but not in this game. So we see Elvish Mystic come down, and you know, my thoughts are, alright, we're playing some sort of Elves deck, which is not inaccurate. We bolted because that's what you do. And we play our young Pyromancer, and we pass the turn. So let's see what we get. Okay. So Boreal Druid comes down. We can bolt it as well. Most likely will. Although at this point I'd rather keep the mana. I keep the mana up and see what else our opponent casts next turn. I somehow believe that our opponent will not chump this. They probably need the mana. Yeah, I think we'll wait. Cool. So let's see what comes down. I'm more afraid of the, you know, the elves that pump up the other elves. So Elvish Archdruid, and yeah, there's many others that pump up elves, and I don't really want those to resolve. So I'll probably what I'm keeping my lightning bolt for. So Llanowar Tribe. This is a card that seemed innocuous to me at the time. I'm like, okay. And of course, I was very oblivious and very, what's the word? Naive. I did bolt it, but I didn't bolt it for the reason you would assume I'd be bolting it for. So anyway, we'll get there. Again, I'm alluding to game 3 here. Probably makes sense to play Delver of Secrets, but first we're playing Crack the Earth in an offensive way. So we're going to force our opponent to sacrifice a permanent. I figure I might as well hurt them as much as possible with mana generation. That's my idea anyway. There we go. I mean, this is what I wanted to save my lightning bolt for. We don't have it, but whatever. So our Delver doesn't flip, which is fantastic. Spirebuff Canal comes down. Now we can attack in, but it's risky because they might just block. The thing is, they don't want to block because they don't want to lose. They don't want to lose their creature, so it's safe. Safe to attack with Young Pyromancer at least. Another Boreal Druid comes down. Alright, we're gonna be casting a very big spell here. Collected Company. Spell Pierce comes in very handy here. So we're gonna Spell Pierce that, get another token from Young Pyromancer. Whew, dodged a bullet, because I did not want Collected Company to resolve. Delver of Secrets does not flip again. Exactly what we want to happen in this deck. So we draw a Young Pyromancer. We're going to attack in again. Now we have to be careful here because, well, they could always lose Boreal Druid. They don't really care. But let's see what happens. So Boreal Druid blocks a token. Alright. We come in for 3. We'll play another Young Pyromancer. Hopefully we can race our opponent by generating more tokens, but we're out of spells, so not happening anytime soon. It would have been nice if Delver of Secrets flipped 2 turns ago, but we can't have everything all the time. And this is why I have my Bad Beats episodes every Friday, because I'd like to show you exactly how many times Delver doesn't flip, regardless of how many instants and sorcerers you put in the deck. Alright, so we are getting a second Elvish Archdruid. Not happy to see that at all. Not happy to see that at all. Not looking good here. All right, that's gonna resolve. That is gonna resolve, and those are not creatures I really want to see go into their hand. So, Delver of Secrets does not flip. So we're doing good. I mean, we're doing good on the flip rate here. 25 instant sorceries. All we've been drawing are lands and creatures. Okay. So, there's no real profitable attack here. Not anymore. So we are at a standstill, and that is not something you want to be at against elves. So this kind of sucks. Okay. Our opponent has 4 cards in hand. They could essentially cast everything with the amount of mana they can generate. There we go. Zuri. Zuri comes down, and yeah. Next turn we are doomed. Okay. So that came out of nowhere. And it looks like it's flipping this turn as well. So it's time to concede, but I think I just want to see it through. This was brutal. Really, really brutal. Count the amount of times Delver didn't flip. Our opponent had no response to Delver. If Delver flipped the first turn, we would have won. They would have been killed by now. So this is a thing. Flying Lifelink, Indestructible, Haste. Fair. Time to concede. Go to game 2. Alright, so. What do we want to bring in here? I mean, what do we have? Blood Moon can hurt. It's really marginal here. Life Goes On to help with the life. I mean, to help with life. Because, I mean, we are technically playing an aggro deck, so... At least I still thought we were playing an aggro deck, but hey, we'll get there. I know I'm really ramping up game 3 here, or amping up game 3. So what do we bring in, what do we bring out? I took out a 1 hatching plan, so I have the ability, I have the room to remove some of the other core pieces. This starting hand is pretty terrible. This hand is not much better. The only reason I would even contemplate keeping it was because of Serum Visions. Yes, we have hatching plans. Yes, we have Perilous Research, but that's just too little. Too little. So I kept it. Again, literally the only thing allowing me to keep this is Serum Visions. Force of Negation only really hits 1 or 2 spells in their deck. So Crack the Earth is tempting. So I kept both on top because we need access to red. Next turn my plan is play Hatching Plans, turn after, fetch for Steam Vents, Crack the Earth, and we hope we get something out of it. Not the best plan, but I didn't want to go to 5 cards, so we're going to do the best we can with what we have. Alright. So, Cracked Earth comes down. We are going to play Hatching Plans. End the turn. Let's see what happens. Really just hoping for a Hail... Oh, okay, right, there we go. Really hoping for a Hail Mary here. Luckily, they can't do anything with Abby this turn. Zuri's coming down already, so soon. Can't stand it. But okay. So this turn, they're going to be forced to sacrifice a permanent. So they got to choose. What did they choose? Okay, they choose a Zuri, which, whew, thank God. We draw... Land, Perilous Research, Crack the Earth. Not really what I wanted to see. At this point, I'm doing a very desperate move, which is sacrifice a land to cast Paralysis Research to draw 2 more cards. It did pay off in the sense that we drew Dreadhorde Arcanist and a Lightning Bolt, so we finally have a threat, but we lost a land because of it, so that's a tempo loss there, right? We're doing an anti-tempo thing, but we really had no choice. We were kind of desperate. Alright, so we're going to force that because at this point I'm tired of not doing anything, and we just don't want that to resolve. There's no reason for them to refill their hand at this time. There's not many force targets anyway. Blood Moon comes. I mean, we can't really cast it at the moment because we just don't have the lands. So we Lightning Bolt, and that's the best we can do. Don't want that Heritage Druid to survive very long. Alright, could live with that. Okay, fine. So they have a second one in their hand. That's going to resolve. What do they get? I think here I was in the... Okay, there we go. So Elvish Mystic, Elvish Mystic, Elvish Archdruid. Alright. So we draw another Force of Negation. Okay. I think at this point I probably want to cast Dreadhorde Arcanist. Or hardcast of One Mind. I don't think I want a Blood Moon yet, although I do understand the pressure to cast it, because we just do not want Abby to flip. But their opponent is nowhere near being able to make it flip at the moment, so I'm not too concerned. So with Dreadhorde, this actually becomes a bit of a problem for our opponent, because if they can't remove it, every turn I'm going to swing in. They're probably not going to have enough power to kill it. And we're going to be able to bolt, Serum Visions, maybe crack the earth, whatever we want to do. So let's see what happens. Alright. Definitely would be a bolt target. And it's going to be our turn, so please pass priority opponent. There we go. Alright, cool. So we draw Serum Visions, which is pretty good, actually. Pretty good. Looks like I'm just going the Blood Moon route. Alright. Blood Moon, Lightning Bolt. I assume Elvish Archdruid. Yep. Okay. Aggressive play because I'm cutting myself off of green, but I figure the green cards that I would want to cast right now are irrelevant, which is not incorrect. So Collected Company is going to get countered. Definitely getting countered. I'm probably going to pitch Of One Mind to it. So you can see that we're turning the tables here. We started off bad, and a rare event for us, we're actually picking up steam, which is really, really important. So at this point, we're going to do Serum Visions. Draw another Serum Visions. Lightning Bolt is perfect. Put Scalding Narn to the bottom, Lightning Bolt on top, of course. Play Delver. That's it. So our opponent has a bunch of whatever creatures. We don't really care. They're not really that important to us. We've shut off their lands, which is important. Another Winding Way, which will resolve. So next turn we can double bolt. Alright. Opponent can't do much else because they have a bunch of mountains. Delver flips. Very important. So we'll Serum Visions here. The land is actually useful. So, top. Now we can double bolt, triple bolt, actually, because of Dreadhorde Arcanist. Question is, do we just go hit face and hit them as hard as possible? Or do we pick off their creatures? So it looks like I don't... Looks like I want to get Serum Visions in there, so that I guess that's fair. We draw our Young Pyromancer. Next turn we'll draw our Stomping Ground. And Hatching Plans. So, I mean, we're setting everything up. We're hatching plans in advance of actually casting Hatching Plans, which is a good thing. So, it looks like I'm not rushing here, and I think that's smart. Again, there's only so much our opponent can do, and because we have double bolt, even if they cast a bunch of nuts creatures this turn, I'm not concerned yet. I'm not concerned because we have the bolts. We have the bolts to kill off, even if they cast two Lord cards essentially this turn. We can stem that with bolts and Dreadhorde Arcanist. So there was no rush. I'd rather play Young Pyromancer and get some added value from casting my Lightning Bolts next turn. Also, don't forget we're drawing Stomping Ground next turn. We can cast another Serum Visions. We could do a bunch of stuff. So I think we're in a good position here. So our opponent casts Umbra. And it's not clicking to me here why they're playing it. Okay, and it's not going to be apparent until game 3, so spoiler alert again. But those two cards there, Llanowar Tribe and Umbra, are the combo, or at least part of the game plan here. Because once that Umbra is attached to Llanowar Tribe, they could essentially tap on tap infinitely and make Llanowar Tribe massive. Now, I did not see this in this, like it just did not click. Okay, this is dumb Kev, just brain farting here, and it didn't click here. So, a little innocent me is gonna decide, okay, you know what? I think I could kill my opponent this turn by dealing 9 damage with Lightning Bolt, and a bunch more damage with my Young Pyromancer and Dreadhorde Arcanist, so that's what I'm going for. And it works. So I'm going to target Lightning Bolt again. Go to the face again. So I'm doing everything I should be doing. And they're going to have no choice but to... Yeah, I mean, they're not blocking anything here. And now I do a Lightning Bolt and I win. So, okay, so I won. I won fair and square. That's good. I mean, I caught up from a really bad starting hand. Okay, great. But let's just keep in mind, something didn't click. Okay? And you're going to know that just by looking at what I don't side in. Look at my sideboard. Look what I'm not siding in. Alright? Take a look. I'm not going to tell you what it is until I submit. Alright, I didn't bring in Wilt. I did not bring in Artifact Destruction. So, for me, at this point, Umbra is still like a whatever. This is stupid, alright? I mean, I didn't put this in my Bat Beats reel because, well, we'll just see. I mean, let's see if you let me get away with this here. But, you know, this is dumb, alright? It still hasn't clicked that they're playing Umbra. I should have paid extra attention and realized why they're playing that Umbral Mantle in their deck. So, okay, anyway, we're on to game 3. We mulligan, but this hand is much better. Delver, Force of Negation, Removal, Land. That's okay. That's a good 6. It's a good 6. It's better than a really crappy 7, so we'll go for it. So our opponent is also mulliganing here, down to 5. I'm okay with it. Alright, Cavern of Souls. I've seen this before. I could have sworn they've done this in all 3 games. Okay. So, question is, okay, we draw a 3rd Delver. Jesus. So the question is, do we play Delver? Do we bolt? I'm not concerned at the moment, so we play Delver. We want to put some pressure. So I think that's correct. Alright. Devoted Druid comes down. Let's see if Delver flips. Please flip. It flips. Alright, cool. That's good. That's a good sign. So we're going to attack in first, do our 3 damage. I will cast another Delver, most likely. And I'm probably going to bolt Devoted Druid. Yeah, okay. Cool. So we are feeling pretty bulletproof at the moment. Well, somewhat bulletproof. So Llanowar Tribe comes down again. Cool. Oh, a second flip from Delver. Cool. So we are doing good. We're going to attack in. This is a lot of pressure to deal with on our opponent's end. So I feel pretty good here. Play Delver of Secrets. I'm not going to play Crack the Earth. Alright, so what's our opponent going to play? What is our opponent going to play? Another Elvish Archdruid? Llanowar Elves? Nothing? Collected Company? Umbral Mantle. Okay, so look at what I have here. I can force it. I can remove it. I can make sure it doesn't resolve. And we're good. We win the game. Okay? Look what I do. I'm reading it like an idiot. And it's not clicking. So I let it resolve. This cost me the game. Well, I do win the game in the end because our opponent times out. Like, they just run out of time because they took forever to play this game, which is their fault. But look. Alright? Look what's happening here. So now they equip it. And because of this stupid ability of Umbral Mantle and the 3 mana that that Llanowar Tribe adds, they could do this over and over and over and over and over again and make Llanowar Tribe huge. And here I realize after friggin' 20 minutes, oh, this is what you're trying to do with that stupid artifact. And I'm telling my opponent, my god, I could have won. I could have countered it and it would have been over. It would have been over next turn, most likely. Especially if Delver flips. I mean, that's 9 damage in the air. I mean, what's our opponent going to do? So anyway, I mean, I stick to it because there's still a good chance that we can win. I mean, they could attack as a 17-17, but it doesn't have trample or anything. So, okay. I can chump with my 1 Delver. And, yeah. Okay, fine. So I realized I'm an idiot. It took me 23 minutes to realize what our opponent was trying to do with that stupid equipment. And now I'm feeling really bad because we had our opponent. Our opponent has nothing. You're going to see as the turns go on. Our opponent got nothing. And I kept this match in here. It's a win in my head. It's a win. The deck did what it was supposed to do. It won. And okay, our Delver wasn't going to flip, just for the record. Our deck did what it was supposed to do. We would have won. If I had realized what I was doing, I would have countered that stupid equipment and we would have been a different game. So anyway, here I'm going to be a bit aggressive, but I mean, I think this is too little too late in the sense that, yeah, I mean, they're going to sacrifice a land and that's it. But I do it anyway. I can't really attack in with everything, unfortunately. So our opponent's going to do their little thing again. Alright. So Mantle just gets moved over for free, which is, you know, fantastic. That's also fair. They're going to do their thing. They're going to get up to whatever 17 life or whatever they can get up to, and then they're going to attack in. We're going to have no choice but to chump. So stupid. Hey, at least I show you guys embarrassing things that I do. Alright? You can never say that I make it look like I'm a professional. No, I am human and I do stupid things. Alright, so our opponent's at 17, 17, no trample, you know, so there are limitations to how good this combo is. I mean, I feel it's actually a pretty poor combo, but okay. So we draw Young Pyromancer. It would be good if we were able to trigger something to get a token out of it. Now, if we were able to do that, that would have been fantastic, right? Because then we could just keep generating stupid little tokens, and then, well, who cares what our opponent does? But we don't. But okay, anyway, we brought our opponent down to 5. Our opponent really has no other threats that they can play. So they're going to be doing the same thing over and over and over and over. So Young Pyromancer comes down. It's going to have to pay for the sins of the pilot of this deck. Alright. So our opponent does their thing. Cool. Alright. 21-21. Cool. Whatever. Attack in. I'm going to chump. Sure. Whatever you want. Alright, so we block. So we draw Life Goes On. Relatively important. So we can't attack in here. The only win here is that our opponent, you know, goes to 15-16 power, attacks in, and we do Life Goes On and we gain life and we survive a turn. And I think that's the play that I'm doing. So we attack in, bring our opponent down to 2. They're going to do their thing, and then they're going to time out. So, in my head, we won this game, alright? I don't care what you guys say. We won. Our opponent times out. And, you know, as long as I had countered that stupid equipment card, this game would have been long over, okay? And, yeah. So, I mean, technically it's a win. We did win. Our opponent took way too much time to play their deck. But, technically, we also lost. They would have inevitably won. I don't know if they would have taken our bluff. I tried to track my opponent down after and asked him what life total, what power he was going to stop at. Because if he said like 15 life or 16 power, I would have been like, okay, great, I would have won the game. But anyway, yeah, I mean, let's just recap the game. So game 1 didn't really go our way. Delver really never flipped, and you know we would have won if Delver had flipped. Just you know the next turn it came down. Game 2 we did actually pretty well. We caught up. We killed our opponent. We did exactly what we wanted to do. I mean, we were doing similar to what we were doing in game 1, but we were just unlucky in game 1. Game 3 we were actually really strong. We were doing fantastic. We had our opponent. They really had nothing that they were going to be able to do to win. That Umbral Mantle came down. We didn't counter it, even though we could have. It was a misplay. I just didn't have enough. I didn't have enough experience with this deck. I didn't know what it was trying to do. Although, you know, looking back, I've played against Umbral Mantle decks before with elves, so it was just a long time ago. But assuming we had countered that Umbral Mantle, we would have won the game. We saw everything else our opponent played. It was nothing. So we would have won. It would have been over. And yeah, we just did a stupid little misplay. That being said, I'm still pretty happy with how the deck performed despite the pilot. And I hope you enjoyed the match. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you enjoy my content in general, please subscribe, hit the notification bell. It really, really helps me. I would really appreciate it. Thanks, and have a good one.